Do this computer. Yep. Recording. Wonderful. Hello, hello. I will
Hello.
share my computer with you.
Okay.
There we go. And darn, where is it? Here we go. Voila. Okay, so this is slide 3 of the George story.
Yeah.
And as
Mm-hmm.
you will see, more and more am I actually adding to before we even get to the story. And I'm adding components that are um, generally practiced in classrooms where comprehensible input is used, not just TPRS. So it's like comprehensible input is like a big umbrella, and TPRS is one sort of strand of that umbrella, one section of that umbrella. So,
Okay.
on that note, always remember why you are here. You are here to be a magical communicator. This is about creating magic in the classroom. It's not about verb conjugation or grammar or vocabulary lists.
Mm.
It's about communicating with magic, and everything else will follow. So, I'm actually right now doing some work up at Packway. And at Packway, we're now in week 3. We're not quite
Mm-hmm.
going to get to slide 3 in week 3, but this is the third
Okay.
time I'm meeting with the students. And so we are implementing more and more routines. So one of those routines is the mon travail, my work. And so when
Mm-hmm.
students come in, they're now going to have mon travail. It's the same as bell work, but I didn't want to use any, le travail de la cloche. I didn't want to go fancy
Mm-hmm.
with all the words. I kept wanted to keep it super simple. Mon travail, my work. They find
Mm-hmm.
this on the board and they're learning that when you come into the class, you have a duotang, you have a pencil, you copy what's on the board into your duotang, and you write down the translation. So it's simply 4 sentences to write while you're waiting for things to settle and everybody find their place and class to start. So here, mon
Mm-hmm.
travail, my work this week is the students tomorrow will see il y a un garçon, le garçon est George. They print copy that into their brand new duotang, they write the translation, and we will correct that. There is a boy, the boy is George. Um, to I put this here. I should have put this a little earlier, but I had just want to muse a little bit here, just wax poetic for a second. I had the chance to visit La Sagrada Familia in Barcelona this summer, and these are 2 pictures of this incredible space. I dragged my kids through countless cathedrals and churches while we were in Europe, but La Sagrada Familia is in a category of its own. It's unbelievable. It's still under construction, has been under construction for over 150 years. And it's just breathtaking. And you can just spend hours there just glancing at the windows, anyway, in the museum portion of the museum of the cathedral was um, a quote by Gaudí, who is the architect behind La Sagrada Familia. And this is what it said. I'm going to go straight to the English version at the bottom. To do things right, first you need love, then technique. So it goes together with being a magical communicator. It's about, sometimes we can get all like, all our panties in a bunch and like, oh my God, what if I don't do the signal, or if I use the wrong order, I forget to triangle, and we get all caught up in technique. That's not what it's about. If Gaudí had focused on technique, we would not have La Sagrada Familia, because some of the techniques he used or are now being used did not even exist yet he created this incredible structure. So to do things right, first you need love, then technique, proficiency, ease will follow. Start with love, start with being a magical communicator, and the rest will follow. So yeah, here we go again. There is a boy, the boy is George. So tomorrow, once the kids have done their translation, we corrected their translation, we'll sing our little song. Bonjour mes amis, bonjour. Bonjour mes amis, bonjour. Bonjour mes amis, bonjour mes amis, bonjour mes amis, bonjour. And we sing that a couple of times, not long enough for it to get boring, but we just quickly go through it. And then I asked them, Ça va? How are you? Ça va? And the students can answer. And I would model it again. So last week we did Je suis heureuse, je suis fatiguée, je suis anxieuse. And this week I can add Je suis confiante. I am confident. So we can vote. Qui est heureux? Qui est fatigué? Qui est anxieux? Est-ce quelqu'un est fatigué et anxieux? Qui est confiant? Who is all these things? With some classes, you will find you can spend 15, 20 minutes just on those four words. Who is feeling what? You can even go into pourquoi, why? Why are you feeling that way? That will easily get you out of bounds on vocabulary. So it's a bit of a dangerous, slippery slope. But last week I said, oh, class, je suis heureuse. Je suis heureuse. Pourquoi? Why? And I see it. You can't see my hands. Pourquoi? Je suis heureuse parce que and il y a, they already know, il y a du soleil. Oh, and soleil, so I draw a sun on the board, huh? Parce qu'il y a whatever you can add. I'm tired. Why are you tired? You can go into down that rabbit hole if you want to, and if they're ready for that much language. But it's just fine to just raise your hand if you're tired, raise your hand if you're confident, and so on. So you can spend time on this. Then I, I will take them tomorrow through some TPR, total physical response, Asher's work. And remember, in the shared district French folder, there are some instructions on how you could structure the TPR, how you introduce new vocabulary. So right now, all we're doing is lève-toi, assieds-toi, marche, arrête, dis bonjour, dis au revoir. Assieds-toi. Now last week we added lève le bras, baisse le bras. We're going to add danse. And we've already done danse lentement, slowly, danse rapidement, quickly. And this week I'm going to introduce romantiquement, romantically, dance romantically, stand up romantically, sit down romantically, stop romantically. And the students usually have just so much fun with that. And they're getting so much language exposure. So, and then I remind them, remember class, if you want to learn a language, all you have to do is regarde et écoute. Watch and listen. That's all you got to do. And so we review. This is our daily read. And at this point, I'm still going back to the beginning. But pretty soon, probably already next week, I will skip Il y a un garçon, le garçon et George, because that is now pretty solid probably for all the students. Plus, we're kind of starting there all over again with today's sentence, as you will see in a moment. So I would read to them, classe, il y a un garçon, le garçon est George, il y a une fille, la fille est Paula la pizza, George est grand, Paula la pizza est petite, George est en Californie, Paula la pizza est en Colombie-Britannique. And if you find, again, if you have something more fun than Colombie-Britannique, more power to you. It is a little bit boring. I put it in there because I think it can be a good help for them to know how to say where they live. La Colombie-Britannique. So I would read it, the whole class translates. This il y a un garçon, whole class, there is a boy. Le garçon est George, whole class, the boy is George. Then they can read with a partner, they can translate with a partner, and 5 minutes or less on all of this, and we move on to classroom jobs. And we're adding more and more classroom jobs for French. La personne responsable pour, the person responsible for. So we always have a sound person. So for example, when we say qui, the question is who? Ooh, key. Everybody circles their face in the class, and one student is the designated sound machine. And the sound machine makes the ooh sound, the owl sound, to help us remember key means ooh. So we just designate that person. So obviously it will rotate from class to class. And we have a scribe, une personne responsable pour l'écrit. L'écrit, the written work. And I have I didn't bring it with me right now. I have a little booklet and I took a pen, went to Michael's, bought a fancy plume, a fancy feather, attached it. And so one child writes down French or English or mixture of the two what is happening in our story. So I will remember what happens in our story and I can create these daily reads. Okay. Before we start, another little side note. I got an email this morning asking, Francie, how do we do the gestures for the question words that are around each slide? Um, and the answer is, I don't know all of them. So I made them up. And we have that freedom. We just make it up so it works for us. So for qu'est-ce que, what? Qu'est-ce que. I just put my finger to the mouth. Qu'est-ce qu'il y a? What is there? Qu'est-ce qu'il y a? Ah, il y a un garçon. Qui, we all know well because we repeat it and because we have a good gesture for it. We ask for who, so we circle the face. The whole class does that. Qui, and we have the sound machine person go ooh, ooh. So we one of the words they learn right off the bat is ooh, as in or. And so I show them, look at ooh and ooh. They sound exactly the same, but the one with a little roof on top, a little accent grave, um, is where. The other one means or. Alors, so où, we're looking everywhere. Où est George? Ah, George est en Californie. Comment? How? So I wanted to go like a hammer into a fist for how, but then I remembered I usually use this for je veux, I want, which will come in about a slide or two. So I went with this. Comment? How? How do you do it? If you find a better way, by all means go with it. Comment t'appelles-tu? How do you call yourself? Huh? Comment, well, we're not using comment yet. Our story is not there yet. Combien? Combien? I use a one-handed gesture and I just simply count. Combien de garçons il y a? How many boys are there? Il y a un garçon. Pourquoi? Pourquoi? Why? Why are you doing this? Pourquoi? I sort of put my hands up to my face and pourquoi? Why are you doing this? Huh? Which is a little different from qu'est-ce que. Qu'est-ce que is a little gentler. Pourquoi? Why? Why are you doing? Pourquoi? George. Pourquoi est-ce que George est en Californie? Why is George in California? Huh? Now, warning with pourquoi, because with beginners, that opens up a whole ballpark of vocabulary that they may not know, that you may not know. So if they, say, why is George in California? Well, because his mother is celebrating her 57th birthday. Yeah, that's not going to be very helpful, and it gets us off track. It gets us out of bounds, as we say in TPR, or comprehensible input language. And the hardest part about TPR and CI is to keep it in bounds, to limit the vocabulary. So beware of pourquoi. Your class may or may not be ready for it yet. If you want to use it, have some reason in your head. You could brainstorm pourquoi George est-il en Californie? And they can say, well, because he wants to go to Disney World. Yeah, these are all great reasons, but class, here is the truth. And then it's a secret. Come on, Everybody listen in. C'est un secret. C'est un secret. This is why he's in California. And you give them some story that you make up. All right. And now we can actually start with the first slide. You see it more and more is put in before we're actually hitting the slide. And of course, you can do this differently. So one thing I do when I get ready for a sentence is I highlight the question words that are suitable for that particular statement. And then I'm not going to get tempted into pourquoi or comment. Yeah. Okay, so let's play with this new statement. And I have an audience member, which is fabulous. So feel free to unmute yourself. And I'm going to interact with you as if you were my class. And I say, classe. And the class responds, oui, madame.
Oui, madame.
Il y a un problème. Oh, and the whole class is like the most amazing thing you've ever heard. Oh, oui, classe. Il y a
Yeah.
un problème. So class, remember, you don't have to repeat after me. You just answer when I ask a question. You answer the question in one word is enough. Alors, classe. Oui, madame.
Oui, madame. Madame, la
Oui.
cloche vient juste de sonner ici.
Oh, you have to
C'est la
leave.
fin de notre lunch.
Okay. Can I ask you one question?
Of
Just
course, yeah.
switching the table quickly. So in
Sure.
English, we just went in English or in German, we would just say classe or class. There is
Yeah.
a problem. In French, I know you can use les garçons, les filles. Do you have to say
Mm.
la classe or can you just say classe to get their attention?
Class.
Is enough? You're
I
happy with
think
that?
so.
Yeah,
I think
classe?
so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
You would not say la classe, il y a un problème?
No, I
No.
wouldn't, but I could be completely vocabulally and grammatically off in La La Land.
Okay.
So,
So
yeah.
whoever watches this video has a strong opinion about this, please
Okay.
text me. And thank
We're
you for,
accepting votes.
yes, we are accepting votes. All right. Thank you so much. And
No, Francie, thank you.
yeah,
Okay,
go
yeah,
ahead.
we'll take it off record, I guess. Yeah, I gotta go and do social studies now.
Of course. Have fun.
But but yeah, let's aim for another conversation and we'll pick up this thread.
Perfect.
Okay,
Thank you.
awesome.
Salut.
Okay, thanks, Francie. Okay, bye now.
So I'm going to model it without an audience. Alors, classe, il y a un problème. Oh, oui. Il y a un problème. Class, what means il y a again? There is, yeah. Un problème, a problem. There is a problem. Il y a un problème. Classe, oui, madame. Il y a un problème? Oui. Oui, il y a un problème. And I'm going to go through very similar what I used, il y a un garçon. So I'm going to say, for example, classe, il y a un problème ou deux problèmes? Un problème. Oui, classe, il y a un problème. Il n'y a pas deux problèmes. Il y a un problème. Do you have to do the negation? No, you don't if you're not comfortable with it. But some students may be ready for that exposure already. I'm not asking them to produce that at all, but I can already bring in because they understand il n'y a pas de problème. There's not a problem. Il n'y a pas de problème. C'est ça. Classe. Oui, madame. Il y a un crocodile? Non, non, il n'y a pas de crocodile. Il y a un problème. Oh là là. Glace? Oui, madame. Il y a un petit problème ou un grand problème? Oh, we don't know. We actually don't know. Glace? Écoutez. C'est un secret. Listen, this is a secret. Écoutez. C'est un grand problème. Or you can have them vote. Who thinks that's a big problem? There's a big problem. There's a small problem. Don't go with medium sized. You're getting on thin ice. Just go with big or small, grand ou petit, because we've already established grand et petit. Georges est grand. Paula la pizza est petite. Huh? So we're reusing, repurposing these vocabulary words. Oui, problème. Il y a un grand problème. Glace. Oui, madame. Il y a un tigre ou un problème? Un problème. Oui, classe. Il y a un problème. Oh là là, oh là là. Classe. Oui, madame. And here's my clue for qu'est-ce que. Qu'est-ce qu'il y a? Qu'est-ce qu'il y a? And I may slow it down. Qu'est-ce que means what, huh? So many words in English, it's just what. Qu'est-ce qu'il y a? And so students want to say, what there is. Yeah, what there is. How would you say that, to a friend? You wouldn't say what there is. You would say what is there? Yeah, what is there? Classe, oui, madame. Qu'est-ce qu'il y a? Oh, oui, il y a un problème, classe. Il y a un problème. Classe, Um, combien, and everybody count, combien de problèmes il y a? How many problems are there? Oui, classe, il y a un problème. Classe? Oui, madame. Il y a un éléphant? Il y a un éléphant? Non, 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 non. C'est fou, hein? That's crazy. C'est fou. Il n'y a pas d'éléphant. Il y a un problème. Oh là là, oh là là. Um, and now I'm start going into triangling. So, Amanda George, Amanda is the two students' real name. I tell them I'm calling on Amanda, but she is now George, is what I'm signaling. Amanda George, il y a un problème? Oui, il y a un problème. Oui, il y a un problème. Amanda George, um, tu es en Californie? Oui, 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 tu es en Californie. Et Amanda George, il y a un problème en Californie? Oui, oui, il y a un problème. Classe, il y a un problème en Californie. And I would do something like that with a couple of students. And oui, George a un problème. George has a problem. Classe, qui, ouh, qui a un problème? George, oui, George a un problème. Classe, Paula la pizza, qu'est-ce qu'elle a? Qu'est-ce qu'elle a? What does she have? Qu'est-ce qu'elle a? Oh, Paula la pizza a un problème? Hmm. Oh, où est Paula la pizza en Californie? Oui, Paula la pizza est en Californie. Et Paula la pizza a un problème? Où elle a un tigre? Ooh, Ella, dragon. So you can go on. What does Paula the pizza have? Does she have a problem? And I guess what? She doesn't have a problem. She has something much more fun. Paula la pizza a un dragon. She has a dragon. Oh la la. And you can go down that rabbit hole of the dragon. Oh, um, où est le dragon? Combien de dragons? How many dragons does she have? And so on and so on. So you go on with asking these circling questions with Qu'est-ce que, qui, où, et combien. You're asked, you're interviewing students, they're giving full sentence responses. And of course, you then can check in. How much do you understand of this story on a scale from 1 to 5? 5 being super easy, 1 being super hard. You can then have them describe the situation. Il y a un garçon, le garçon est grand, il a un problème, il est en Californie. Paul la pizza um, a un dragon, elle est petite et elle est en Colombie-Britannique. And see, look, we have all that language 3 slides in. And of course, if you elaborate further within these slides, you have even more of a story. It um it uh it grows quickly. So be patient. And you could do another exit ticket with them. You make statements. Le garçon est George. Is that correct or false? Or what I'm going to do with them tomorrow is I'm going to have them go into a circle. If I make a statement that's correct, they make a step forward in the circle. If I make a statement that's wrong, they take a step backwards in the circle. Yeah. And so you can measure um, how much they understand. It's just another way of measuring that. I hope this is helpful. I am working on a brain break file for you guys with amazing brain break activities. Right now it is in Dutch, so I'm in the process of translating that. And but I hope to have it accessible or available pretty soon in shared district French resources and within their TPRS CI folder. That's it for today. That's it for this week. I hope this was helpful. I may be doing one more of those next week, and unless I get more requests, I may probably just, I think you have a lot of ideas and a good start. And I'm, of course, super happy to come into your classroom and work with you live. Alors, au revoir, à la prochaine.